Hello, welcome to Suzy Makes. In this video, we'll be making a calendar. And I wanted to make this calendar because I wanted to have a visual representation of time. I wanted this calendar to take up as much as the wall as I could. I wanted to make this calendar so that I can write substantially in it. Specifically, I wanted it to be able to fit about a sticky note's worth of information. I feel like that sometimes time passes us without us wanting it to. So, for example, when I first started the calendar project, I made my calendar roughly around like the 14th or the 13th of January. And then by the time I got around to finishing up editing and adding these audio clips, it's already reaching the end of January. And I know it sounds kind of silly, but I was hoping with this visual representation, if I am present to see it pass day by day, then there was some hopes of me thinking that I could slow down my perception of time. Part of it purely maybe just through the fact of, I guess, recollecting my day, like reflecting on how I chose to spend my time for that day. And by having these little notes, I'd be able to remember the day passing more clearly. And if I could do that, then maybe I could slow time down. I wanted to have this project in that, I find that last year wasn't very productive for me. I had a lot of like personal goals that I wanted to hit, and I feel like I wasted my year doing nothing. I wanted to spend 2025 with more intentionality. And I don't necessarily mean like be hyper productive, fill every second and every minute and every day with like an activity, and then pencil out your days like by minute, which sometimes I used to do, especially in like high school. I wanted to have this place where I could kind of have like a journal, like in a visual form, where I can see like how the year is progressing, like the passage of the time, like how far through the year I've gone, like have a representation of like when I started and stopped my projects, and like how long each thing took, and like I could just like walk up to this room and then like see like how far I've come. Sometimes it's nice to have that little reminder on a wall that like you don't necessarily have to have it in a journal, because sometimes like I don't even write in the journal for months on end. I wanted to have a visual, like passive visual situation where I can just like write what I was feeling that day, put it on a sticky, or write my to-do lists on a sticky and post it on the wall because that's what I did that day, or write like a little 2-3 sentence summary of the day or maybe the week because I was lazy and forgot to fill it in. I think I always wanted to make this sort of calendar. It's been in the back of my mind for a while, I think. I feel like it's been in the back of my head for like almost a decade, and this is this year was the year I decided I don't care how lame it is, I want to make a calendar for myself. One of the reasons why I wanted my calendar to be out in the open like this is I have a very strong belief that if it's not visible to me at all times, it will cease to exist. So, for example, I have this planner and I will forget to use it for months at a time. And sometimes when I'm using it, I am very vigorous and very meticulous about writing my little checklists on the planner. But then as soon as I put it away to organize, I will forget to use it for months on end. um, I've had this streak of perfectionism, and I feel like that's a bad label because I don't think I considered myself to be a perfectionist. Mainly because I had an image in my head about what a perfectionist looked like. Like, I feel like self proclaimed perfectionists should actually be a little perfect. Like, they don't make mistakes and they make and draw perfectly straight lines and they're able to color inside the lines and stuff like that. So I don't know if that maybe, I think maybe not necessarily perfectionist, but I had tendencies. I would get so frustrated if like I couldn't draw things in a specific way, or like if my handwriting looked not great. I was like, I'm like writing this like 2025 down the side of the calendar, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I would have had an aneurysm if I tried to do this 5 years ago, because I'd be so stressed out about the spacing of each number that I would probably draw a grid and spend 5 hours drawing 4 letters on a disposable butcher block and then start over because it wasn't good enough. It's just like insane. And I'm laughing at the idea that I would have done this, and I can fully imagine like the conversation I'd be having in my head this whole time while I would have been trying to do this. So this whole project would have given me an aneurysm, and I'm a little proud of myself. Like inner brain, Suzy was so mean, and I think thinking back to the past and like how I know I would have reacted is actually a little bit hilarious because she was so intense. I'm just like, calm down. It's really not a big deal. Yeah. So I'm actually really proud of myself. Like I'm writing like the months of the year and like, oh god, my handwriting is atrocious that day because I think it might have been the first time I picked up a pen in like a week or something because I haven't really written things. Sometimes your own brain isn't necessarily like the nicest place to be. And funny enough, that's actually one of my New Year's resolutions is to have or redirect my mean inner voice to sound more like a normal person. I was going through a lot of self-doubt on one, whether or not to make this video or this channel, frankly, and also whether or not I should even make this calendar. But I guess the more mature version of myself won out in the end. Um, you know, oh, right, I forgot. Like and subscribe if you want more content like this. Also, if anybody's interested, um, this is, I believe, what's it? Each square is roughly, it is exactly, not roughly, 3.5 inches, and it fits perfectly across a Home Depot butcher block paper. So if you ever, for some reason, decide you too want to make your own calendar, those are the dimensions. Go wild.